Happy Thursday to you. It's a nice March 18th. I hope you everyone had a good St. Patrick's Day. If you're hungover, welp, you ain't built like the rest of us because we're all at work having a good time. No, I'm kidding. I don't drink on the weekdays too often. If you're new here, what's up, new kid? I'm probably the most different stock trader. Everyone else wears a suit and a tie and talks about the same 5 hype stocks looking for YouTube clicks. I don't honestly give a shit how many times I get views on these videos. I care about the quality of the content and to show people actual value and how to do this the correct way. If you're a beginner and you're like, man, I watched the Snapchat, I watched the YouTube, I watched the TikTok, I'm on the Twitter, how do they do it? Right? How do these people lose so much money? No, how do they find stocks that are going to blow? And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But what they're looking for is technical and fundamental analysis. Now, I'm going to do the technicals for you because it's much easier for me to show you how to do technical analysis than for me to show you me going through websites finding fundamentals. So if you're a beginner, you want to learn how to find really good technically sound stocks, who has 2 thumbs and can do it? Me. I'm here to help you. If you're a intermediate trader and you're kind of, 1, 2, 3 years into this, you have some money coming in, you feel confident, I will show you some great stocks to diversify with, because if you're just buying tech stocks, I bet this month has hurt. And again, if you buy all the same sector, I bet you bought an ETF in this month hurt a little. So I'm going to show you some consumer defensive, some financial stocks, some therapeutic stocks, all the kind of stuff that you wanted to play, but you're like, I don't know any information about that. What am I going to do? I'm going to find you some great technical setups. And again, I trust you to go do the fundamentals the correct way and find out what the price targets are for you, how much you want to hold this for, all that kind of great stuff. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Again, I implore you. I don't really care about becoming the next, Ricky Gutierrez. I don't really care. But if you enjoy this content, every time you comment, like, or even just share the video with your friends, it helps somebody else out, right? And that's the whole goal of this whole thing. I started this channel during COVID to help folks learn how to trade during COVID, to help their families out, and we're still trucking along. So if that sounds like something you want to do to help somebody, go ahead. If you just want to watch me because you want to watch a 29-year-old have a midlife crisis and scream at a camera, valid, super valid. I'm into it, right? With that being said, 2 last things. 1, I have a Discord chat, then a community. I just use the Discord as like the community center. We do newsletters morning and nighttime. I do the videos hours earlier than you guys get it on here. And I also do live updates throughout the day. A bunch of cool stuff. Again, if it sounds interesting to you, check it out. I'm offering a 7-day free trial to fill the last 15 spots that I have open. There'll be about 310 folks in. I have about 15 spots open, 7-day trial. My Discord name's in the description box down below, but it's also gonna be at the end of the intro. Just add me, and I'll say, what's up, dude? Probably. And you go, I want to try a trial. And I go, no, just kidding. Ha ha ha. And then your heart sinks for a second, but then I bring it back in. I really I got to play with you a little bit. And then you can try it out. Lastly, is that there's a bunch of people on YouTube who are really, really good at this. Super talented. I'm totally with that. I should only be a pie slice or a part of your foundation of learning. There's some folks I would not trust farther than I can throw them. Anyone who's showing a video of a Lamborghini that they do not own, I don't trust. They have a video of them talking about how much money that they have, I don't really trust them. But somebody who has actual content trying to help you, great. I'm A1. Please find me somebody who's better at mid-cap swing for someone who has a 9-to-5 job. Nobody. None. I'm sorry. There's nobody. I'm definitely the top 5% of that category. But there's plenty of folks who are better day traders or better long-term investors. There's folks who know so much more than me in so many different things. Go find them and then learn from them as well. I'm not going to be the kind of guy who's like, you must go with me and me alone or go after yourself, get out of here. No, you want to learn how to do great swing trades, the 180-day chart, abusing that, finding really good setups, and then you can take what I teach you, take it, boop, 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 take all these nice little things, and then take it, Kamehameha it into your own trading. Fantastic. That's the whole goal. This is educational. I'm not here to tell you what to buy all the time. It's a watch the show. And with that being said, I'm running out of breath and I want to go home to edit this. With that being said, let's get into it. So as we can see above me, we have our 9 tickers for the day. It was a fairly red day, but as I described, the level the S&P is at kind of makes sense for some consolidations, kind of a weak support area. So the choppiness kind of makes some sense. These 9 beginners, I have a feeling you could play most of these and be just fine and be comfortable. The question isn't always to play everything. The question is what quality can you see in a stock and what can you play? So instead of sitting here and playing all of these, I dare you to paper trade all 9 of these tomorrow and see how that goes. It's probably going to be a little rough and confusing, right? So if you like 1 or 2 of them, just stick with that. That's all you need. Intermediate traders, I also have an additional, 7? Yo, I'm good at math, dog. 7 additional intermediate plays for you. I've called all these before. And again, they're back to where I want them to be at. They look pretty good. If you're a beginner and you want to stick around for the whole episode, that'd be cool. But you want to stick around, these 7, I wouldn't touch these quite yet, but they are good beginner stocks for you to learn off of. And that's what's important. This is all about education, right? With that being said, let's get into it. Now, BYND, I liked BYND until it blew up, and everyone then and their mom was like, oh, BYND's going to be sick, because I was looking at BYND over here. This is what I saw. This is what Papa was playing off of, and that's why you see this giant trend line down here and this support over here. I was like, hey, this is a pretty good buy, and I called it right here. It dipped farther, and I was like, shit. But then it came back a good 19%. I sold. I'm not even going to act like I was like, I was a genius. And then this is how the stock market goes, dude. Sometimes you get lucky. Like, sometimes you get lucky. I had a friend who it got right here and said, you should probably sell. He goes, I'm going to hold on for a day. I'm like, that's probably fine. The next day he woke up and it was like, oh, big fella, and he got some good money. That's just how it goes. Right? I didn't know they were going to sign a deal with Nestle or whatever, or McDonald's or whatever. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Now, if you want to look at the overall macro, you can see that this was a downtrend. Right here, downtrend, downtrend, down. I'm sure there's probably an email line involved here somewhere maybe. But we can see it's downtrending. What did it do? It broke above it. It's all right. So we have this downtrend broken. Now you could always come over here and be like, well, actually, it's lining up pretty good like this as well. Sure. That's up to you. It's what you want to chart with, right? It's up to you. That's a very valid point to be made. But there's still plenty of reward to be had here and still a very good value. This is a good uptrend. It's lasted once, twice, 3 times, and now it's bouncing back up. Now, this was only a wick, so I'm not overly sold on it. You wouldn't put all your eggs in this basket. And as of today, it's still dropping off. So should you come by tomorrow and be like, I want to buy this really bad? Okay, we'll give it a day. All right, we're not rushing anywhere, right? Let's check out the reversals, right? Bull shape, quick, right? Bull, bull, bull. This thing does take its sweet old time. It has like a 3 or 4 day period at the bottom of reversals. 4 days down here, a whole 17 days. Down here, it had a whole at 7 days. So again, why would you rush into this if you're getting right down here now? Right, we have maybe 2 or 3 days at least to watch what it's going to do. Right, this is the Watchlist channel. It's not a buy this right now, you idiot channel. Interesting enough, we come over here. If you're new here as well, these 2 dotted lines, this is where 70% of the volume happens. And again, so right in the middle of volume. The POC is based on the highest node of volume. This is where consolidations happen. You'll see back historically. Where is the most back and forth happen? Right here. So again, is it going back and forth? It is. So again, we could even kind of inherently bring in the fact that maybe it goes back and forth. You hit 8% fairly quickly. I wouldn't be shocked. While we're also down here, the white lines are supports, and this is our channel up. So again, we have all of our lines here, and they're all kind of converging in this area. If it was me, I'm going to wait, give it a day or 2. If this is the actual downtrending line, which again, it makes some sense that this would be it, because it lines up fairly well. If that's the case, we may come down and also duplicate this real quick. Would you look at that? There's your play. Right? So that's your play right here. You have options. You can either wait for it to come back down to the bottom of this channel, which will give you a few weeks to wait on this, right? Now, if this does last here and this does break above this and this does kind of consolidate and break above it, you're going to be on the ground floor of a fantastic move up. So you have options. I'm not sold yet that BYND is going to be done with the downtrend, and that's okay. What's important is that BYND needs to be in your guys' watch list, because if it does show some green tomorrow and it does live as support, which it has, this is a support that it's tested multiple times and shown much life at. If it can test here and live, easy 8 to 10%. If it dies, just wait, because in a month, BYND will be worth it for sure. Let's check the indicators. What's cool about this channel is that I wear sick-ass tie-dye shirts and I have cool hair. No, that is cool. But what's more interesting is that I do not look at indicators while I scan. When I'm doing my process of finding stocks for the day, I only use price action alone. One, because if it's not price action, a good price action setup, why would I even want to buy it? And then 2, when I do this show, I can do these live with you guys. It's pretty cool. So you can see exactly what I see as I go through it. The blue lines, the 10, purple 50, red 200 EMA lines. You can use SMA lines, but they're not going to line up correctly with mine. They're still valid. RSI, stochastic, and vortex is what I use. So off the bat, you can see it cannot break above the 50. And when I said it's probably lining up well with a EMA line, well, it also respects the 200. So if you want to play for value, you're going to be overly risky than what I think you should be. This is a great area to buy into, but when it made these bounces, it also retook both these lines. See how it retook the 50 and the 200 and came up? You see how over here, it made this move up, it also died, and when it came over here, it got consolidated between the two of them. So they're both above, so we're still downtrending. I would give it a day or two, okay? Give it 3 or 4 days. If it really does show some strength, it breaks up above both of them, whole new ball game. Use the 200 as your stop loss. If it does one of these, now this can be your stop loss until it moves up, right? RSI is a fair value. It's fair. It does get oversold quite often, so I want to wait for that to happen. So give it a day or two. Stock is low, vortex is low, but all three are pointing south. So why would you buy in while it's still downtrending? If you can see it curl a little bit, I'd much rather, because look, if it's downtrending like this and you bought in right here, let's say it comes down farther, you just got burned, right? But if you were to downtrend, wait for it to curl up, where that curl up is probably where you would have bought in the downtrend anyways, but now you have confirmation of a reversal, right? So why would we be so hasty to buy in while it's still below the 50 and the 200? Sometimes I don't care about curling up, but while it's beneath both EMA lines and a downtrend, you got to wait for something. And that's what the stochastic, vortex, and RSI will show you. So beyond a great one for the future, I'd give it a day or two, and I'd wait for it to get above the EMA lines if you're very risk averted. But otherwise, it's a good pickup. I would just get it a few days. So CCCC, it looks pretty good here. Let's go back 10 years. Oh, wait, you can't. It's a newer IPO. So you need to take that into consideration that the price action history is not large. So if we looked at some other recent IPOs like Roblox is new, Buzz is new, whatever it is, I am a fan if it's consistent. So CCCC is very consistent, and I appreciate that. Will this last forever? Hell no, baby. It's not going to, right? There's no trend that lasts this long. Now, there's overall 5, 10, 15-year trends that last forever. Like the S&P is on a consistent uptrend, right? But is this comparable when the stock is only, 156 days old? I don't think so. So here's what the play is going to have to be, in my opinion, is that we have a great horizontal channel developing here and a great resistance channeling here. You can see all these wicks up here. Wickety wick, wick, wick. This means there's low volume up here. If I turn the volume profile, oh my God, I was right. Who knew? Right over here is a bunch of low volume. So you got to take that into consideration. And I had a great conversation with one of my VIP patrons today. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. What's going to happen up here, right? If you're going to be trying to buy the stock, it makes sense to buy it down here, right? We have a cap. This may be over some of y'all's heads, and that's okay. We have a capital D right here. That's the main shape of a volume profile consolidation node, and that's more in-depth stuff. Ideally, you want to buy CCCC probably near this gap, but the issue with this gap is going to be is that it's going to wick down in here. Just like up here, low volume areas lead to wicking. And so if you want to wait to capture this move, you better have your computer in front of you or an alert set or a buy order like right here, right? That would be logical. Now, this is also a high volume node right here and at 40, right? So we have plenty of high volume right here. If it enters here, let me ask you a question. If I were to show you this empirically, this line right here, which isn't exactly the greatest price action setup with the lines all around it, but let's put my cursor right here. If you saw this channel, are you going to short that stock? No, you probably wouldn't short the stock unless there is any kind of information otherwise telling you so. And same with up here. Would you go long at $45 with this channel? Probably not. And with that being said, though, not many folks should be shorting around this area of this volume node. Now, if it does break below this, hello, my baby, hello, 32, we're going to come down here. Right? But otherwise, you have an easy 5, 10, 15% to make up right here based solely off the volume itself and what it's showing me personally. And that's, again, a nice little tidbit for you. But channel up is obvious. Okay, that mid-white line is a really good resistance one. If it does come down here, so I would definitely wait for 40, 25. Like, yeah, I'd wait for it here. And, what are you risking here? All right, 3% it breaks. You give it a, 3 weeks, let it develop something else. But CCCC, volume profile alone with this channel, sexual. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. And there you go. It bounces off the 50. It was a 200 boy over here. Boopity boop boop boop. But now it's off the 50. You have options now. This gives you mightily more options than you had before with this information given to you. And you can buy them for 2 reasons. Value, which is what I usually go off of because I'm a little bit more conservative in my setups, and so I like to be more aggressive on my entries. Sorry for their weird aggressive, but like if I have a perfect setup I do not want to miss it because I'm too conservative waiting for the setup to develop to the perfect time, which is never going to happen. So value is your first one, right? This is a good value. I'd give it maybe 10, 20 more cents, and then boom. Second is a crossover, and again, it's below the 10 and the 50. It is above the 200, so overall, a great trend. So you have options here. I would definitely, myself personally, oh God, when it gets to like, 40, 15, all right, I'll put my money into it and go. That's a good bet. And if that does well, great. You can always wait for it to get above the 50 and hold. And hold, keyword. It must have a little cubey boy up here. I want a greeny boy like that. I want this above it, and I want it to hold for 4 hours, right? I want it to hold up here. Then you can go along and use the 50 as your stop loss. Those are your options, in my opinion, right here. Put your cursor where the RSI is. Does it reverse here? It does. It does. Once before I got lower, so that's okay. But this is where it reverses at. Great sign. Stochastic is low. Is it pointing north yet? No. So you may want to wait a day, 4 hours, 2 hours. Let it curl and say, okay, volume's coming back in. We're looking pretty good. And then Vortex just went red. It's not red for very long. As you can see, it goes much more green. So again, day or two, sounds great. CCCC 10 out of 10 play, based solely off of the risk versus reward and volume profile. I like it a lot. Next is CCEP, Coca-Cola European Partners. Hello, chap, whatever it is. Even though European does not mean British, you idiot. So I'm good at geography. Actually, I taught geography for a few years. It was terrible, as you can probably tell. They're dotted because, one, this is a very strong resistance line, but it did not tippy-tap. It didn't tap there. And so, again, that's telling me, and again, you see how the trend lines here? You can come over here, and you can see on a longer-term period, yeah, this probably makes a lot more sense. It's wedging. It's wedging. The wedges last forever? No. So this will not last forever. Do not get sold like this is going to be the greatest uptrend of all time. Let's go. It's not going to. This is going to probably hit anywhere about, 55, 56 and die. And you'd be like, well, I'm only going to make 6%. That's dumb. Yeah, what are you risking, though? If this all breaks, 2.5. That's 3-to-1 ratio. I think good move. You'll take that. They're not saying buy this today. It's still red. It's still downtrending. Right? Once this gets to about 51.50 or 51.25, then we can start talking about a value play. But it's a great uptrend. Either one of these uptrends looks really good. If this one comes to be true, this other one, then we have a channel play developing. Then we can get some more, squeeze some more, juice out of that lemon. We'll see. This other one appears way too harsh of a curve. It won't last forever, but this is still a really good uptrend. Coca-Cola is a very strong company. The American one, KO, check it out for the dividend play. It's fantastic. Let's check out the indicators. So we have options again, and I like to be. I always go top left to bottom right, like when I read a book, which is rare, but I do it sometimes. I don't. We can see off the bat, it's off the 50, and here you have two options again. Will you play off of value or a crossover? You want to buy at value. You're aiming for here. If it crosses above the 50 and the 10 here, if it holds above both, you can then play off of that buy-in, use the 50 or the 10 as your stop loss because around these parts, partner, we secure the bag. RSI, let's put our cursor where I think it's reverse at. Okay, anywhere from 41 to 37 looks good, but it does get oversold and lower. So again, if it dips farther, I won't be surprised. Stochastic is coming down to where you want to buy it. It has not yet turned green. It has not curled north. Give it a day. Vortex just went red. It doesn't stay red very long. I can do the whole measuring thing. I've done that plenty, right? It doesn't hold red long. It gets peaked out pretty quickly. So as soon as red gets about 121, if that continues, you can then look to buy. So CCEP, it's a great company. It's delicious. And again, you got to let it play itself out. The market's still kind of choppy, but it's a good play nonetheless in the future. What's so funny about this channel, and again, I don't mention it because it's not here nor there. So many of these plays I have played for months before even doing any of this, and then they get ruined, and I got to buy in weeks later. And you're like, oh, it's a pretty good stock. I've known about these for years. EVBG over here was an absolute snack. And what's cool about EVBG, and off the beaten track, you see how it's making this horizontal channel? Look at FSLY, because I was playing FSLY at the same exact time. And this is why there's lines down here. I was playing FSLY over here. It was the exact same setup as EVBG, but it did this. And EVBG did that. Ironic, right? And so that's kind of what's important about this channel is throughout it, I don't mention it very often because there's no real point, of me like, I made a bunch of money. That's such a jackass thing to do. But you must be ready to reset trend lines and supports and resistances even when a stock changes. There's plenty of stocks on my list I've never even played because they're not value yet. And EVBG down here, I didn't buy it. I called it once over here, and that was a good move. And again, that was, again, a great call by me, but also partially lucky. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Right, but this is a great support line based off of that. Again, it's just interesting that I don't talk about, you know, the history of these stocks very often, but again, any stock that you start to watch and really monitor, when it breaks up higher, breaks down low, be prepared to race it all and start again in a few weeks. That's how it goes. EVBG, it's next to the POC. What's it do with the POC? Consolidates. And it's going to consolidate here back and forth quite a lot, possibly. So we may be down here, you know, possibly 2 weeks, possibly 2 weeks, possibly a week. So again, we just hit it. Okay, we just hit it. This definitely got away. Now it's coming back down. We're still downtrending, as you can see. So we have some time to figure this bad boy out. Will EVBG move up here and hit this? Possibly. It's very possible. It makes some really big moves, right? But it also can get as low as 124 fairly easily. It can get as low as 120 fairly easily. Am I saying pull the trigger tomorrow? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is put us on a watch list. Whatever your plan is, whatever you like about this stock, of all the stocks, if this is your favorite, find your value. Is your value going to be at 130 where it is now, 124 or 120? You choose, right? If it doesn't hit that value target, don't buy in. And again, it's still downtrending fairly well, right? Once, twice, 3 times. It's a very valid trend line down. Now, do any of the other lines here match for that well? No. Every time you do it, it's going to be some type of wedge, whether it's like this or whether it's like a broadening wedge. So those won't last forever at all. All right, so that's good news. So I think if you were to buy this now, the price target is actually 200 officially. So if you buy this now, you goof up the entry, you'll make money if you hold, technically speaking, from the professional standpoint. It's a good stock, though. Let's check the indicators. And it's so important, again, to look at the history. I say it a lot, but I don't really go too in-depth. I have like 30, 40 minutes per episode. It bounced off the 200 like clockwork. It gets below it, and what's it do? Bounce off the 200 like clockwork. And where are we right now? We're below the 200. Any reward price target should not be some moron like me on YouTube. Although I'm only dumb in something. I'm really good at this, but I'm really stupid otherwise. To be like, the price target is technically going to be 154. We're going to cash out, boys. Send the check. It's not how this is gonna work. Okay, over here, when it's above both EMA lines, hell yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When it's below both EMA lines, hell no, it don't make no sense. So again, make sure your reward is tapered to this downtrend and to this EMA line. As it drops down farther, it drops down farther. This is going to come down, easier to take over. But right here, you're going to at most 9% profit, which again, 9% something, right? But again, make sure your reward target's based off of the downtrend and those EMA lines. It does get oversold. It also does reverse right before that. We're right where you want it to be. Give it a day or two, okay? Just like I've been saying with Stochastic, it's coming down south. Let it curl north. Let it come up and show you what it wants to do. If it keeps dropping off, why would you buy into it, right? Vortex wants to stay green. If it goes red, you will have 2 to 5 days of consolidation at least with some downtrend, some red. So again, EVBG in the future, a great play. But again, I'd give it a day or two. Let's see what it's going to do. Next is GMED. It's a good play. And again, the reason that this may look a little bit more like and the reason is because it is a clear read to me for risk versus reward. You come over here and draw this trend line too and be like, well, actually, this is a better value. I'm sure it could be. And again, I'm not really knocking that yet. But what I'm saying is that this support line, when you got to draw your own, it can arguably be probably closer to $59, probably pretty well here. But anywhere in here is a support area. And this is definitely an uptrend. It's definitely gone higher lows, higher lows. It's definitely broken that. But the downtrending line is not very, again, this is what we're seeing. It's a broadening wedge off the top. It hasn't even hit the top yet, so I don't know if a downward channel is even comparable for this. What I do see, though, is uptrending and then a very strong support area incoming. And as I've said, watch this show, not buy all this shit, you idiot show. So, I mean, this is definitely a downtrending, it's definitely coming down from earnings. And if it gets near the the 59 to the $60 where it is, yeah, I would definitely anticipate some form of consolidation like it always does. 16 days of it. Over here, we had about 20 days of it. Right here, we had about 13 days of it. So we have possibly 2 weeks pending it hitting down here. But again, you hold it for 2 weeks, you can make a good 10, 15% when it gets going. So GMED, a really good beginner stock. Not much risk, more reward than risk. But again, for a long-term hold, this continues upwards. Globus Med, you want to look into it. Good company, right? Can make some really good moves for you. And if this does break down here, let's see this down. Let's see this uptrend come down to 56. We can talk business there. But a really good support area, good trend line, a good beginner play. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. Just like with EVBG, while it's above both the 50 and the 200, it was printing. And it bounced off it considerably. Now that's down here below the 50, what's it doing? Block, block, block. It can't get above it. So your price target for making money needs to be based on that. And again, would you want to wait? I would wait. I would wait for it to get above the 50 and the 200. If this does come down to like $59, $58 and kind of hangs down here, as the 200 kind of slopes back down and then the price action kind of like whoop and takes it over and goes, that should be your go target, right? I don't think there's much profit to be made while it's below both of them. And so I would definitely wait for a crossover. There's an alert you can set for, right click, study, email line 50 crossover. Set an alert for when it goes above it, you're good to go. RSI is low, stock. Again, everything's low. It needs to point north. And again, I'd give it a few days, but GMED moving forward, good play. Just give it some time. MTCH, we just called it. I called it literally right over here. I was like, hey, this looks pretty good. And then you would have made about 8%. That was our price target. That's exactly the one that we had. And as you can see, this resistance line is where it stopped at. But where's our price target? Right here. So you would have made a successful trade based off of that. Congratulations if you follow what I say and what I kind of preach of making reasonable price targets. Who knew being realistic was a good idea? So this is a great uptrend. We're back into it. Would you be a bit concerned? I'd be a bit concerned. Now, did I say freak out? I did not say freak out. But we had a full move. And after the last full move, what happened? It did the exact same thing it looks like it's doing now. Okay, it looks like it's bouncing around. So I would have wished to have seen a higher move, but this is still a very fine move. I will become concerned if we do buy in here. And I got to give it a day. Let's give it a day. Let's let it show some green. St. Patty's Day was yesterday. Whatever it is, right? Shout out to my Irish friends. If it does come down, to about the 145s, pull the trigger. And then if it comes up and makes another good move, congrats. Put a stop loss at 155, you idiot. And then you can let it run up. If we do not see higher highs, though, off of this move, it does come up and doesn't get as high, I would become a bit concerned. But until then, I think this is a 10 out of 10 trade. Super easy read. Super easy on the risk versus reward aspect, right? You can buy it, let it come down. Let's just say hypothetically it gets down about 146, okay? Your risk, 2.5% reward, 4 to 1. MTCH is a snack among appetizers. Let's check the indicators. I can talk. Now it's breaking the 200. What are we gonna? No, you're gonna be okay. So it's breaking below the 200. So again, you have options. We like to have options. I'm not saying calls and puts. I'm saying legitimate choices. Play into value, fantastic. When it crosses above both of them, fantastic. You make that call, not me. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just some random guy on YouTube. The RSI does a reverse here. It does. It does. It can get a tad bit lower, which I think it's going to. Give it a day. Okay, this is swing trading. Right, my Barry Bonds out here, big fella. That's the only baseball player I thought of, right? Francisco Lindor, come home. We can see that it does reverse here. Give it a day. Stochastic is low but south. Let it curl north. The vortex is trying to hold green. That's great. But again, the red is bottomed out. So again, if the red makes a move, if there's a lot of red volume, it is what it is. Hopefully the green can hold up here. So the vortex is kind of opposite of what we're seeing, but still a good sign. MTCH, 10 out of 10. I like this play a lot. I want to see what it can do. I'll give it a day. I'm going to give it a day, but I like it a lot. Next is NOG. I'm so excited because I saw this yesterday. I have a horrible habit of like seeing sexy calls and I make them like a day too early, and then they dip and it's like, and then they come back and everyone's like, I sold, and I'm like, shit, me too. So it's pretty nice to see that we have a really beautiful channel that I waited on that tapped perfectly. Now let's be fair, people. Okay, let's be fair. Activate our line. Okay, is it perfect? No. We're looking at this. That's a perfect line. So if it does come down to like 1280, oh God, what am I gonna tell my wife I lost the house? No, relax. And that kind of lines up well too, because you can see that 1280 is actually where that support is. So let's go with that. Let's go with that right there. That's beautiful. So you want to kind of see it hit 1286, and where this area is going to be gorgeous, right? And let's just look back here. Let me put my cursor there. at 12 and 10, where it is at 9 o'clock, it was a resistance. But look back over here at 125. What's it now? A support. Previous resistance has become new supports. Who knew? Over here. Let's come over here real quick. This became a resistance right there. Right there, resistance. But over here, what did it become? A support. And so over here, this resistance is becoming a support. And so again, my sarcasm, you're not that stupid, but my sarcasm, it's windy over there, is that this should be a really good support area. And again, what's the profit? The first resistance is 11% away. Sheesh. And this comes down over here. What's your risk? 2 or 3? Oh, delicious. Mwah. Mwah. The only problem is we just had our earnings call. It is to be said, though. It should be said. It was a good earning. They made money. They did okay, right? So it's coming down from earnings, big earnings sell-off. And so again, you want to give it a day? Sure. It does consolidate. It does consolidate. It does consolidate. So again, don't be Mr. Quick Trigger, wahoo, Wiley Sam, or whatever his name is, whatever the dude from the thing is. I'm good at classic boomerang cartoons, whatever. Shut up. We don't want to be too quick on it, but again, don't miss this move. I like it a lot. I like eggnog a lot. Northern Oil, I like it. Let's see what it's going to do. Let's check the indicators. The deafening silence in my classroom is really bold today with my crappy jokes. Now, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You have options. Again, do you want to wait for value? I like value. I would probably buy in soon. Can you wait for the price to get above the 10 and the 50 EMA or whatever EMA lines you use? You certainly can wait for that. It's a very valid strategy because you're above the 200. But don't think it can't get below the 200. Right? This does collapse on you. Don't hold this bag because if it gets below here, you're FCUK'd. Okay? I'm kidding. I know how to spell that, kind of. So you can definitely see. You can wait for it to crossover or get into value. RSI, it reverses here. It reverses here. That's a great sign. Stochastic, again, could be lower. It's coming down. Is it pointing north yet? It's not. So give it a day. Vortex looks kind of worthless, to be honest with you. So 10 out of 10. Risk versus reward looks good. Just don't be an idiot and rush in because they just had earnings. We have no idea. Any kind of news and stuff. Do your fundamental research. But NOG looks really good. RRC is hysterical to me because I was playing this bad boy over here. This trend line right here was literally something else. It was perfect. It was actually like a perfect setup over here. I was playing it and it came down and I sold it because I got scared. I was like, oh God. And then I bought back in and they went up. I was like, hell yeah, I made my money. And then I was waiting for it to come back down when it got up here and it hasn't come back down. It's gone. I was legit waiting. I was over here like for months. I've been like, it's going to come back down. And it's like, screw you, nerd. And it just took off. So do I love it? No, because I would definitely pay like $6 for this, but it's a $9.90. So again, I'm a little more picky with this, but RRC, a really nice trend line up. It's a nice trend line. Now, if you're a beginner, buckle your seatbelt because RRC is dumb. It is a bumpy ride. You can definitely buy in and you can make 10% in an hour. Not unheard of at all. But RRC could also lose you 10% in a day. Now, you should be bolstered a little bit because look at this. Red sell-off, green, red, green. So there is some wave motion to it. But like, what the hell? What is this? Green, this. Like it's sporadic to say the least. So a good entry point's right here. It's a good entry point. It's a good support. It broke the support that I had drawn, so I was obviously wrong. Look at me admitting my faults. I would definitely say probably closer to 955. It would be an arguably good one. Let it come down. Okay, you've had higher lows, but higher low, higher low, higher low. We have higher lows across the board, so be confident that before 950 it should reverse. You're risking about 4 or 5%, but this huge uptrend can make 15, 20, and it's definitely not unheard of. So RRC, more intermediate smitten. If you are more of a year to 3 to 5 years, great. If you're like 2 months in, maybe a bit crazy for you. You got the little baby paper hands. You're like, oh God, it's gonna die. Give it a day, right? So I like it a lot. Let it show some life, but when it shows some life on like the 30-minute or 15-minute or an hour, and it actually like shows some damn life and takes off, you gotta hop in because you're gonna miss it. But it's a good pickup. Let's check the indicators. Now this is why I love doing the indicators with you guys. We have a different scenario now because of the EMA lines. The 200s right here, that's going to be a massive, massive help because it's been bouncing off the 50 and consolidating on the 50. So again, do you have options? You do. I would not personally wait for a 50 EMA cross just for the fact that if you were to wait for it, you're giving up almost 5% and then you have your first resistance 3 away. Not much logic for a risk versus reward portfolio from perspective. That's why I kind of look at most of these through on that kind of lens. And that's why if you're new to that kind of idea, I'm super helpful and handsome. But the 200, again, it gets within about 0.95. We're at about 1.92. So this should be your stop loss. Honestly, should be your 200 EMA line. It breaks all that. 2% is what you're risking. I like that a lot. And if you want to wait for it to show some green, which I would, that's great. It gets close to the 200. The closer you can get, the less risk you're going to take. And that is the name of the game. And if it breaks below it, it will come back most likely, but it may not be the way you want it. And dictating opportunity cost, if you want to put in a bunch of money in RRC and wait for it to come back, all that time you're waiting, bag holding, like Indiana Jones out here with the ball coming, you could have been buying something else at better values. So again, I don't like to bag hold. RSI looks good. Stock, everything looks good. Let the stochastic show some north. Let it curl. Let me look at my little baby camera. Curl up. We gotta see that. We gotta curl it up. My back just cracked. I'm old. Ow. Damn. Then Vortex is dummy low, so again, that's a great sign. So RRC, I like it a lot. Buy it if you want to. I don't really care. It's up to you. Boys, I'm getting tired because I'm fully jacked on Mellow Yellow Mountain Dew right now. I'm geeked right now. So we can see, ironic, if you ever see a purple line on one of my charts, it means I was watching it because that changed away recently. So I was actually watching VECO over here. Apparently, I don't remember watching it. That's interesting. So this is a great uptrend. Is this a wedge? I'd argue it's a wedge forming right here. So with that being said, do patterns and wedges last forever? No. Will this break? Yes. Will it break up or down? Yes. If it breaks up, yeah, that's great. And then you can come up here, you can enjoy all your fun, come down, retest, and then go have fun. Most likely, wedging up is going to break up to go, see you, nerd, and then collapse. So we're just trying to capture a nice 9, nice 7, 6, 10% kind of move here. A really good channel up once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5. It's lived. It has lived. Just like with the one over here, I forget, on CCEP. Old resistances become supports. It was a resistance right about here. Okay, resistance. Boop, it held right here. It held this action up. It held this up. This resistance, it could be 2075. It could be 2018. It's up to you. What a terrible year, right? It's all held right here, right? Is it going to hold? I think so. Now, the question is how far in can you get? And wedges do break. This could have been the last move of the wedge, and it goes, see ya, and it dies. So, great support, great wedging action, maybe around, 2071 if it keeps dipping, if the markets look red. Buy around there. Easy 11% move. Like a lot. Let's check the indicators. It's above the 200 off the bat. Love it. And again, now we have options. I'm going to say it one more time for all you idiots who don't listen to me. That's fine. I'll listen to myself half the time anyways too. You can buy at value, pop a like value, or you can buy when it crosses above the 50 and the 10, because it's already above the 200. And every time it crossed above it, look at this. Hey, I crossed above it, man. 7%. Hey, look, I crossed above both of them. 15%. You're going to get some money. You're going to get some money if it crosses and holds, and you use the 50 as your stop loss. Now, you got to be aware of the PDT rule. If you got a margin account, and you only have 3 day trades, and this breaks above and holds, and so at noon 30 or like 1:30, whenever the 4-hour candle ends and it holds, if it dips back down and breaks, you wasted a day trade, but you broke even. So again, it's not that bad. I like it a lot. VECO, check it out. I like it a lot. So there you guys have it. If you stood around 35 minutes watching a man in his classroom jacked up on soda scream about 9 stocks, congratulations. You have a higher ratio and a higher, breaking point than I do. I would have been like, damn, this guy's annoying, turned it off probably. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty great. But if you're a beginner, I must reiterate, watchlist show. I'm not saying buy 9 stocks tomorrow. Don't sue me. You have nothing to get anyways. That would be embarrassing for both of us in court, right? That would just be, you win his student loan debt. Congratulations. Like, woo, like you don't want that problem. If you like one of them, or maybe 2 of them, maybe 3, take these little babies, that'd be guys on this side of the camera. Take your little babies, put them on your watch list, and then watch them this week. Friday's gonna be a weird day tomorrow. Watch them into Monday. If you like what you see, and you have an entries plan and an exit plan written down somewhere, even on the chart, use the drawing tool to draw and like draw, you actually write on there, write your plan down, fantastic. If you're just gonna go off of me like, hey, this guy with the pink hair and a Jurassic Park tattoo, I trust him, I'll just listen to him no matter what. Incorrect, do your own due diligence, don't just trust me. With that being said, I have 7 intermediate stocks. Let's take probably 30, 40 seconds each, really roll through these. But again, you've seen these before. I like all of them for different reasons. Let's check them out. So if you're new here, new kid, what's up, dork? No, I'm just kidding. New kid on the block. I've called all these before. I don't turn off the indicators while I talk about these. I trust intermediate traders to make the right decision. If you're new, you can watch how quick I can break this down for you and be impressed and like, I don't know, join my Discord or whatever. DVD I called yesterday. It has a really good setup. I would wait for a crossover at this point. The 50 will come down a little bit. The support line, wrong. I was wrong. Maybe it's closer to like, 13 seconds. That makes sense right about there. That's probably going to be the play now. Anywhere in here. You could also argue that this right here was also a very strong support area right about there. So it's up to you. Draw your support line. Wait for whatever email line you like to cross over or buy at value, but DBD is still very much alive. It's just that uptrend, that line may be coming to an end. We'll see what happens, but DBD, I like it a lot still. FLNT. But what do you like about FLNT, dear? Well, it's dying, okay? It's dying, and that's okay. What's nice, though, is that you can see if you try to line up all these downtrending lines, they don't really match up that well. Like, there's not really... You could reach and be like, oh, I guess that's it. But then none of these really match up the top line. So like this is definitely some form of wedge. It's wedging down. And do wedges last forever? No, Evan, they don't last forever. And so will this downtrend last forever? No, it won't. It's an earnings play. Earnings. It's getting beat the shit up right now, and that's okay. So just watch FLNT. Don't buy it. Don't go buy it today and be like, oh, he told me to buy it, and then it drops 15% and you like cry, which would be kind of funny, but I feel bad, right? It's downtrending. Let it show some life, but when FLNT gets done dying, it'll be a great play. Let's just get a day or two. So FSLY is one of those anomaly stocks that like it was worthless. It didn't mean anything, when the pandemic started. But since, my boy, look at this. Look at the support area. Look at this. I'm going to look at this. Right, this is really good. So I'm a bit concerned that like it bottomed out at 63 bucks, and now it's still coming down. Am I saying buy this tomorrow? No, I'm not saying buy it tomorrow. I'm just saying that given this support area, yeah, if it comes back down to like 63 bucks, hell yeah, throw the bank at it. But otherwise, it's going to come down, 65. All right, go for it. Let it show what it wants to do. But it kind of shows some life here. We see like, let's zoom in a little bit. It comes up and goes higher, low, higher, low. So you have lower highs now. Why would you buy into that, you doofus? If it comes up and does one of these right here and does like another one, okay, we got higher lows. But FSLY, so much potential upward, way less risk below it. Just don't get your money tied up when it's consolidating. Give it some time, but FSLY looks really good. I called IGV months ago. It was pretty good. And we're back here. I'm not saying buy it now. I'm saying that trend line is nice. And I want to let it get closer to this trend line. This support, again, it's been a red day. Let's move it on down to the next little smart one. I'd argue anywhere probably right about there. Look at that. All that action. This action got stopped. This action gets stopped. And then, boop. Will this come down probably another 2 or 3%? Sure, that's going to mitigate our risk. IGV, I like it. It just broke below the 200. So again, change your mental. Your reward must be based off of that. You don't want to always just trade downtrending stocks. But again, for a value, I like it a lot. OXLC, OXLC, as they call it, or no, Oxford Lane. Oh, that makes sense. OXLC is definitely near the 200, where this bad boy likes to take off like a rocket. Kerchoo! So if we want to buy into this moving train here, toot mother trucker, it's had higher lows, Papa-like, right? And it's still at a great value. What are you going to make? 5, 7%? Sick. But you're risking about 1% now. It's consolidating. You can zoom in. That's Oh, it's right there. It's so cute. So again, you want to see that 200 hold. If that breaks, not great until it comes back. So again, if it holds the 200 tomorrow, it shows some green. It goes, ooh, and like it just comes up a little bit. OXLC, snack. SGEN has yet to take off again. I did call it over here, check the receipts, my boy. I was like, hey, that shit looks pretty good. And then moved up like 6%. I was like, price target. So it's pretty good. All right, it's below the, see, I can't break above the 50. It's being a real cuss word right now. If SGEN does hit price target again and clears that 50 and then retests it, no, we're in a different ball game, big fella, because the 200, it respects. It respects. But it respects it way less when it's above the 50. So again, give it some, if you want to wait for a crossover, dope. You want to buy in value, dope. Just let, choose your entry strategy. I like SGEN. It's still downtrending, but again, great value, low risk. I like it a lot. And you can ask my Discord people. I saw a SMAR yesterday, and I cut it out of the video because it made a big move up. Shout out to me because it ran up and about 7%, and now it's down about 10. Oof. And now it's earnings. Okay, it had its earning calls. Call the fire department. Stick a fork in them. I think SMAR may be done. And we'll see what happens. It's definitely showing a lower high. Again, coming down, coming down, coming down. Now, if it does hit, $59 and some change, and it shows some life, looking pretty good. Now, if SMAR does continue to collapse, prepare to see possibly about 50, 51. So again, don't buy SMAR. Love of God. Don't be like, hey, this dude's YouTube said so. I didn't. I'm saying this is a good value as it continues to decrease. I'll keep you posted. It does die off of earnings, but it always eventually comes back, which I like a lot. So SMAR, pretty good. I don't love it, but I like it. I don't love it, but I like it should be the name of my first self-help book about my own personal image. I'm just kidding. I am a Ohio 7 and a LA 6. I know what I am. I'm okay. With that being said, the day is beautiful out. We survived the hurricane. Beginners, again, I must implore you who are new, subscribe, like, bell notification. But also, again, over trading is probably the biggest issue with beginners. Like, I got to trade every single day. Day traders do it every single day. You're not a professional. You're new. All right? When I started playing the drums, I would play for 4 hours or 6 hours a day until my hands bled. And then you find out that maybe playing 2 hours every other day and getting quality over quantity of practice time kind of made more sense, doesn't it? Right? So let's not rush in. Let's just not, go for it. Let's just not go all the way in. Buy one, buy two, watch list 3 or 4, and then play it by ear and do an educational mindset. Put the glasses on, take your glasses out, have your educational lenses, put them bad boys on. Look at what you're looking at. All right, look dripped out like me, and you go through educational lens, not always a purchasing lens. Intermediate traders, I trust you, but make sure you diversify and make good decisions. The markets are still choppy, violent swings in both directions of what you should be expecting. You should not be expecting happiness and butterflies and ice cream the whole time. Not going to happen, big fella. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, mommy and dad didn't tell you no. I'll tell you no. No. It's not going to be perfect all the time. Adjust and make decisions based on that. With that being said, I'm no one's father. I'm not even in my 30s yet, so who the hell am I? With that being said, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and if you like me enough and you want me to not starve, no, I'm good. I got about 15 spots in the Discord left open. Think about it. No big deal. No pressure. Anything else, let me know. Otherwise, have a good rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you guys next Sunday, or maybe Saturday for a weekend video, but Sunday for next watch list. I appreciate you. Stay real. Be healthy. We'll see you guys